Ladies and gentlemen, our program will begin in 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, our program will begin in 5 minutes. Please begin to take your seat. Everyone, the program is about to begin.
Welcome, everyone. It is my true pleasure to welcome you to the program completion ceremony of the DeSales University Physician Assistant Class of 2022. This is our 24th graduating class, and I'm very proud to have been a part of this PA program since its inception in 1997. In fact, Monday is my 25th anniversary at DeSales. The DeSales PA program has been a true labor of love for me for these past 25 years, and you know a good OB-GYN PA cannot not add something with labor in an opening. This is my first graduation celebration as program director, and for that it's very special. I would like to acknowledge and introduce Father James Greenfield, President of DeSales University, Brother Dan Wisniewski, Provost, Dr. Robert Blumenstein, Division Head of Healthcare Division and Dean of Undergraduate Education. And our Dean of Graduate Education could not be here today, Mr. Ronald Nordone, because he is a graduate graduating today. I'd like to introduce Father James Greenfield, who will begin with the invocation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. If you take a look on the program, it says invocation between 3 and 3:15. I promise I won't do this in 12 minutes. But I'm delighted to be here. I was with most of this graduating class for a cocktail reception the other night, and you look like you're wide awake and resolved after that, so it's great to be here. I don't want to correct Kathy, but I want to make one emendation to what she had to say. Brother Dan Wisniewski is the former provost. Today is the first day he's off the job. Yesterday was his last day after 21 years here at DeSales University. So So, Brother Dan, thank you. You've been instrumental, and I know you work well with Kathy and with Wayne and the faculty. So, does everyone know what a provost is? It's something I never want to be. I take president any day. So, Dan, thank you for everything. Class of 2022, physician assistants, commencements and completion ceremonies are usually filled with exhortations to dream big, to overcome all obstacles, to listen to your inner voice, to follow your passion, to don't limit your future, to take risks, and don't worry about failure. That last piece of advice was given by Stephen Jobs. It's easy for him to say since we're now on the 13th version of the iPhone. But I'm going to follow the advice of Harry Truman and his 3 B's of public speaking. Be brilliant, be brief, be seated. So the brilliant part of remarks is, physician assistants, as you're here today, please stand, turn around, and be in all of your family and friends and give them a raucous round of applause. We're so proud of you. The brief part is this. The only advice I want to give, because you're going to get a lot of it today, and I said this at the commencement at the PPL Center for the major university graduation, was to practice what I'm calling aggressive friendship. In this world today, where we have all sorts of social media to connect us and things, we're probably one of the most unconnected societies on the planet. That we have all of these mechanisms, but we don't really know how to engage in that art and the craft of simply being face-to-face with one another. Social scientists describe aggressive friendship, and listen to this, as a dual process mechanism underpinned by the endorphin system, you all know what that is, right? With a little help from dopamine working in tandem with a cognitive social process. Perhaps that sounds too technical. Let me translate it this way. The single best predictor of well-being is one factor, and one factor alone: friendship. Do you realize the ubiquity of the Friends reruns that many of you watched during the shutdown of 2020, especially among Gen Z and other cohort groups? So this crisis of connection that we experience, I hope you obviate by being the best in your field and encourage that with one another so that you can be who you are and be that well out there. Before I pray, I just want to let everyone know that we're celebrating in the Salesian family what we call the double Salesian Jubilee. It is the 450th birthday yesterday of St. Jane de Chantal. And it's the anniversary of the 400th of the death of St. Francis de Sales this year. So when we're partying in here afterwards, take a look at those icons, say happy birthday to St. Jane, and say a little prayer for St. Francis de Sales. But one of the things that was born from their relationship was this friendship that was amazing. St. Jane de Chantal, she had quite a life. She lived in Dijon, France. Her husband was killed by the husband's best friend in a hunting accident. All sorts of crazy stuff happened to this woman in her life. But she teaches us that the one thing that got her through everything was friendship. And so we celebrate their friendship, which is born DeSales University. And one of the amazing things of DeSales University today is our physician assistant program. So I congratulate all of you, really proud of you, look forward to being with you through this ceremony and afterwards, and let us pray. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Lord God, you tell us that if we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we can move mountains. As we gather here with the DeSales University 2022 physician assistants for their completion ceremony, we are in all of their passion and perseverance to help others with a compassionate and caring touch. Continue to lead them in the path of valuing the quality of life of all their patients, doing harm to no one, and to recognizing their assets and their limitations with humility. Help them always recognize and promote diversity and treat equally all persons who seek their care. Bless their families, parents, spouses, children, significant others who have helped them along the way. Bless our amazing faculty who have helped and guided them to expand their knowledge and skills, and to use those knowledge and skills to contribute to improved community. Most of all, be with these graduates, help them to practice aggressive friendship the way you and your son Jesus reminded us that we have come to serve and not to be served. And we make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much for your message, Father Jim. The DeSales PA program is truly special. We have absolutely the best faculty and staff. This program runs so well due to the hard work of this team working together for a common goal, our students and their future patients. I would like to introduce them now. Please stand and be recognized. Dr. Wayne Stewart, Julie Ferraro, Melissa Gilroy, Wendy Hans, Jessica Schwartz, Jane Arenas, Alan Heckman, Jessica Farrell, Bobby Marici, Melissa Brown, Dr. Jean Becker, Susie Cressman, Dr. Barry Silver, Chris Hall, Regina Welke, Emily McSparron, Jackie Snyder, and Bernie Child. Sorry, I couldn't see who was left. Thank you, everyone. Without all those people here, this program would not function. Another reason that our program is strong is because we respect the mission of the university as well as our program mission in our daily decisions and activities. I'd like to share our mission with you now. The mission of the Physician Assistant Program is consistent with the enduring Christian humanistic traditions of DeSales University and seeks to graduate physician assistants who dedicate themselves to the total well-being of the patient. Graduates of this program will deliver competent and compassionate health care, including preventative services and wellness education to patients of diverse populations in a variety of settings. They will consider the patient holistically in the context of family, community, and society, and incorporate ethical principles into a patient-focused practice. They will serve their patients by using evidence-based medicine and promoting lifelong learning in the profession. Our students and our soon-to-be graduates are a very important extension of our program because they are the ones taking care of the patients in the community. Each one of our graduates has been influenced by every member of our faculty and staff who has carefully looked out for you and provided for you in your education. I would ask that our soon-to-be graduates keep in touch as we truly miss you when you graduate and start your career as physician assistants. We want to hear about all your good news, and we want to hear about all the news that you want to tell us as well. Maybe not good news sometimes. We're here to support you forever, and we're very proud of you. Another essential part of our program are our preceptors. Each student in our program has 9 clinical rotations during the clinical year. Additionally, students also have clinical experiences in their didactic year as well. These preceptors, physicians, physician assistants, and nurse practitioners provide important clinical education supervision and evaluation of students in the clinical setting. They guide and mentor our students. Clinical education is absolutely crucial to our students in order to excel in medicine. I would like to recognize the 3 clinical preceptors that are here today and say thank you. Please stand and be recognized. Dr. James McGuire, Obstetrics and Gynecology. Carolyn Gaffney, PA in Psychiatry. Sarah Oakes, PA in Gastroenterology. Did I miss any preceptors? I was trying to watch everybody when they were coming in. Thank you very much. Being a preceptor is truly a labor of love for our program, and it's such a very, very important part of the student's education. Now for a special recognition. Dr. Wayne Stewart, one of our faculty, is retiring today after 16 years with the university. Dr. Stewart is board certified in orthopedic surgery and in wound management. He joined our faculty as a didactic faculty member in 2006 and was assigned to work with me. God bless him. He passed the program, but the baton of the program director to me, and became a didactic faculty member again in 2001 so he could teach an undergraduate semester abroad in Rome in fall of 2021. I know he had a wonderful time because of looking at all the pictures. He has been back full-time with us in spring and summer this year, and it has been wonderful. He has been our program director for 10 years and has been instrumental in many things. Starting the DeSales Free Clinic and serving as the medical director since 2007, Dr. Jean Decker, our medical director, has now stepped in to fill that role. Moving the program to the Gambit Center, facilitation of the expansion of the program from 40 to 80 students per cohort, facilitation of the expansion of our program in faculty and staff. We more than doubled our faculty and staff. Organization of the anatomy lab and procurement of donors. He was the head of the Division of Healthcare Professions for a good number of years, and being the best boss ever. Thank you much. Specifically asked me not to do something at graduation, but he should know by now that I don't always listen to what he asks me to do.
He's not your boss anymore.
I know, that's true. That's true. Funny how things change sometimes. I'd like to welcome Melissa Brown, our Director of Didactic Education, to the podium for induction of new members into Pi Alpha, our National Physician Assistant Honor Society.
So Pi Alpha is a society that is organized for the promotion, recognition of both PA students, graduates, and faculty. Membership signifies inductees' significant academic achievements and honors them for their leadership, research, community, and professional service, as well as other related activities. The society also encourages a high standard of character and conduct among awardees. Full-time PA faculty who have had 3 years' experience with a PA program and who have fulfilled the criteria for distinguished scholarship as well as leadership or service to physician assistant programs or the profession are eligible. This year, we are inducting 2 faculty members into the society. Not only are they wonderful faculty, they are amazing people. This year, we will be inducting Suzanne Cressman. Susie is a 2005 graduate of the DeSales PA program and serves as the director of the DeSales Free Clinic and joined our faculty in 2018. Our second faculty inductee is Regina Welke. Regina is a 2003 graduate of the DeSales PA program and joined our faculty in 2018 as well. Please join me in congratulating both Susie and Regina for their amazing work in our program. Students must have a minimum of a 3.5 GPA, and no more than 15% of the graduating class may be inducted into Pi Alpha. As your name is called, please stand and come to the podium. Please hold your applause until all names have been called. The student inductees for this year are Molly Breidenbach, Courtney Fedor, Sarah Flenders, Michaela Griffin, Nicole Miller, Rachel Noonan, Erica Nimberg, Haley Schertzer, Mark Stensky, Jessica Unow. Please join me in congratulating our faculty and student Pi Alpha Honor Society inductees.
Next, we would like to celebrate the 2022 Challenge Bowl team. Jess Schwartz, would you like to come to the podium and introduce the Challenge Bowl team and the coaches?
Can I have the team come up to Nicole, Brianna, Ani, Caitlin? Come on up. All right. So while they're coming up, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Jessica Schwartz. I'm one of the faculty here and one of the coaches of the Challenge Bowl team, along with Regina and Kathy and Chris. I first want to say that we had an awesome time. I can open with that. I think it's probably one of the most fun things I did this year, so hopefully they can say something similar. I could probably stand up here and talk all day about Challenge Bowl. Don't tell my children, but it's kind of like Christmas morning to me, so they don't know that, but I love it. It's one of my favorite things that we do, but I will keep it short because I know you all want to get your white coats. So just to first talk about the team behind me here, these guys, I could not have done it without them. They have been at all of the practices. I had a baby in October, a week before the Challenge Bowl at the state tournament, and so Regina was great and took care of them, even though it was the first time she had even gone to the Challenge Bowl, and she was in charge, and I heard they did fine. I think everything went well, so I am grateful for them. You know, we all have busy lives. We all have a lot of responsibilities outside of work, and so having the ability for somebody to be there at each practice was really great. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to speak too when we're done if you'd like. You don't have to. Regina's like, what? But we had a great time. So the more important thing are these ladies who, I will tell you, if there's ever been a devoted team, it was them. And I'm sure all of you sitting in front of me here are not surprised to hear that. These girls were at practice every week with us, but then also I feel like every weekend practically you guys were getting together, and they tell me they were practicing each weekend when they were getting together. I don't know if they were just hanging out or practicing, but they were definitely there to practice, and they had a plan of attack. They were competitive. They were making study guides. I mean, they were definitely in it to win it, but have a good time at the same time. So that's first and foremost. I also want to thank some of you guys here, other students who came to practices. You know, I know there were a bunch of you there. Hannah, Jesse, Courtney, you were there for a few of them. Allison, I saw you. So you guys were also really helpful and integral in making sure that they were prepped for the Challenge Bowl. The other thing I want to speak to is the actual event itself. So I got the opportunity to travel with them to Indianapolis, and I think we had a great time. They were lovely to travel with. We did all kinds of fun things. They took full advantage of all of the free things at the vendors. I'm pretty sure you spoke to every single vendor there multiple times, so they were definitely there. They went to lots of lectures. And then the actual competition itself, I will tell you what, I think this team was the team to beat, and I think there was little musings of that amongst the other teams before the competition even occurred, and they definitely really prove themselves to be worthy of a championship, even though they got second place. I will say that they were definitely the team to beat, and not only were they competitive and smart, but they were also very humble, which is a skill set in and of itself, to be one of the best but still be humble at the same time. So I really am excited to get to work with you guys now as colleagues and be friends and all that type of stuff. So I'll let Chris, Regina, Kathy, if you guys have anything you want to add.
All right, I'll just say like a few things because you all know that getting up here is not my favorite thing. Maybe I should just get Bree to be my spokesperson because at the PA championship, I was like, can you just go ask them what this is about? Because I'm not really sure. So Bree was like my spokesperson there. No, these girls were so great to work with. It was the highlight of my year, my first year doing it, and I learned a lot. Not just mnemonics and eponyms and all of the things that we talk about, but just in general, just learning things that I haven't thought about in a long time. So it was really, really fun, and I'm glad we ended it with pierogi omelets at the Challenge Bowl brunch. So you were amazing.
I echo everything. It was an amazing group of ladies to work with. We had an amazing time and lots of fun, and you were amazing in competition. So thank you for your hard work. Next, I would like to invite Susie Cressman, Director of the DeSales Free Clinic, to recognize the Free Clinic Student Board members.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations, class of 2022. I'm so happy for you. I feel like you are like the comeback class because COVID did something horrendous and horrific in a lot of people's lives, and it took us through a lot of changes, and you were amazing, and to see your smiles and to interact with you a lot before you leave has been just a wonderful experience for all of us. You've been really strong and courageous. It's been a very, very hard time, and it made me, COVID itself, rethink healthcare, and that you're all here and you're all graduating and ready to go and excited to go out into the world has been even more encouraging to me. So standing up here, I just want to take a little time to thank the leadership of DeSales and Father Jim, Brother Dan, Dr. Bob, and Kathy and Bobby for this opportunity to serve on the DeSales Free Clinic as the director. A special and wholehearted, deep thanks to Dr. Wayne Stewart. He has been amazing, as Kathy has described him, and his willingness to serve as the medical director for so many years has impressed me more than anything. And his leadership in doing that just shines that truth that, to be humble and to be a servant is what we are called to do as healthcare workers. His example is that powerful to me, and his joyful, supportive leadership all the time. He will be deeply missed as he retires and enjoys more of his life with his beautiful wife. And so I'm just filled with endless thanks to him and his role in the DeSales Free Clinic. So the DeSales Free Clinic is a student-run clinic, so we have students from the second year and the first year who are on the board, and together I work with them to see that the DeSales Clinic continues to be what it's supposed to be. It's a free clinic that serves the gentlemen that are experiencing homelessness in Allentown at the Allentown Rescue Mission. And this year's P2 student board was just amazing. They worked really diligently through all the changes that we went through, and they took part in the Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. They raised funds through local community restaurants and other online events. They came down to the clinic on their, it's a rigorous program, right? You have a lot to study, and they took time out of their study schedule and just to come down and work at the clinic an extra couple evenings a week, and not a week, but throughout the year. They came down on Saturdays to do a thorough clean out and organization of the clinic. They designed a spreadsheet just to organize all the activities we were doing. They met at board meetings to talk about their ideas and their plans. They helped to organize and successfully hold the Highmark Walk for a Healthy Community and raise over $2,000. I don't know the exact amount in my head, but throughout the year it was over $5,000 that they raised as a, working diligently to support the work that they truly believe in. They created educational pamphlets for the gentlemen that are easy to read and colorful. They poured hours into a student manual to provide for the next year's students. They mentored the first year students in an amazing way. The dynamic at the clinic is two P1 and a P2 and then a preceptor, and just walking into the clinic and watching the flow and the dynamic and the interaction, there was so much respect and encouragement, and the gentlemen felt so cared and loved for at the Allentown Rescue Mission. So they thoroughly poured their lives into this as servants. And I'm amazed at how they're willing to serve and put aside some of themselves so they can take care of someone who has a need. And they really allowed the gentlemen through COVID to feel, cared for. They went through the same chaos and the same sadness, and they're still like in a place where they're segregated. So it's been a rough year, but the students have poured out love and care in a way that's been amazing. So today I just want to recognize the second-year board, and I'm going to call up my co-presidents, Adriana Manzi and Claire Kenny, and Sarah Flenders is on the board. So I'm going to just call you as I have you listed, but we'll give you your little token of appreciation as you come up. Sarah Flenders and John McBreen, Anastasia Marciello, Alexa Hudak, Rose Bonagora. I never say your last names. Hannah Suppley, Damien Hulschwander, Courtney Fetter, Michaela Lusinski, Kelly Mulhern, Maggie Balick, Erica Nimberg, and Jenna Sullivan. Next year we'll be better at this.
As our DeSales Free Clinic board is moving along, I just wanted to say thank you for all your hard work on behalf of our homeless in Allentown and the men at the Allentown Rescue Mission, and for our faculty and preceptors that volunteer at the clinic as well. Now I'd like to invite Jane Arenas up to the podium to recognize the PA Olympic student leaders.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all here, and it's wonderful to be celebrating today. It's so nice to see you all rested and not stressing out about the next test and your next rotation and figuring out who to call, where to show up, right? It'll be interesting to see 5 weeks into your new jobs if you're like, where do I go next, right? That's how I felt when I first graduated, so. But today, I'd like to talk about the PA Olympics. Amongst all the accolades and the things we're grateful for Dr. Stewart's contribution to this program, PA Olympics is yet another one of those things. PA Olympics has been part of the DeSales P1 experience since 2015. And each year, student reps from participating programs in the greater Philadelphia area gather in January, and they select a local charity, then they raise money for the next 10 weeks. In the first 5 years, we would do our fundraising and then celebrate and have the so-called PA Olympics, which is games like dodgeball challenge, dodgeball, tug of war, and other things. At Bamboo Gardens in New Jersey. But of course, COVID changed that a little bit. So we had to be a little creative, and we came up with a scavenger hunt, sort of in the fashion of The Amazing Race. So this took place in Center City, Philadelphia. Last year, we chose the Kroger Hattrick Foundation as the 2021 charity. The students raised $22,000. And then an additional $2,500 was donated on behalf of PA Olympics, raising the total campaign amount to $24,451. That was amazing to have accomplished that in 10 weeks. And I'm really grateful to the students who joined me because there's so much work that had to take place before the actual PA Olympics day came. And so the students who joined, Jess Schwartz, who is the scavenger hunt queen of the program, and Jess Farrell, who kind of just helped me stay sane. But I'm really grateful for the students who helped plan the meeting, or come to the planning meetings, organize fundraisers for our event as a group fundraiser as well as for the program. These students came to some meetings at Jefferson East Falls campus and other times by Zoom. They helped set up meetings on GoFundMe or fundraising through GoFundMe and really came through representing the program. And it's probably the worst kept secret that I'm competitive. And so I was super, super happy that one of our groups won one of the sessions. So that was extra special too. But please know that I'm so grateful for all that you did to participate in the PA Olympics during your P1 year. So please join me in recognizing and thanking the representatives for this class's PA Olympics: Sarah Flenders, Bree Lonergan, Hannah Suplee, and Jess Unell. So I have one more recognition that I'd like to do at this time. So PA school is hard. For the last 24 months, you've all been trying to balance life, with studying and being asked to help do fundraisers and be part of a bigger society, right? Right now, I'd like to recognize two students who answered the call of becoming student representatives for the Board of Directors for the Pennsylvania State Society of Physician Assistants, also known as the PSPA. So the PSPA is a constituent chapter of the American Academy of Physician Assistants, and the PSPA strives to represent all PAs in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The current PA practice privileges we all have are a result of the representation that the PSPA has provided. Since 1972, no legislation has been passed in the state of Pennsylvania without the endorsement or support of the PSPA. We don't always get students who are able to answer this call, and so it's always a blessing when, in the midst of 25 other accredited PA programs, 2 students are elected by students from those programs to represent the student body. Over the course of the year, these 2 representatives served as liaison between the Board of Directors and student members of the Student Society. They reviewed information as presented for discussion at the quarterly Board of Directors meeting and attended various committee meetings, made recommendations representing the student body, and learning about how the PSPA supports these practice privileges. I'm grateful that Ian and Nicole took on this mission as members of the Board of Directors. I know that the PSPA Board of Directors were very, very happy to have you join them, and we're very grateful for all that you did for them. Please give a round of applause to Ian Deal and Nicole Miller for their work with the PSPA Board of Directors.
I'd now like to invite Dr. Gene Decker, our medical director, to the podium, and he will present the Medical Director Award.
I'd like to introduce myself. As Kathy said, I'm Gene Decker, and I have been the medical director for the DeSales PA program for the last 10 years. I probably assumed this role 10 years ago, partly on the approval of Dr. Wayne Stewart. So I'd like to thank Wayne for trusting that I could do this job and hence give me the opportunity to be part of the best PA program he helped build. So what does a medical director do in a PA program? When I ask myself that question, I sometimes wonder also. My role at DeSales is a part-time role. I am a full-time medical director for a family medicine residency program in the Lehigh Valley. Since Dr. Stewart will be retiring, I will also assume the role as a medical director of the Allentown Free Clinic. Thank you. Welcome. I guess at this point, the middle initial of my name, Eugene M. Decker, M stands for medical director. I get to do a lot of administrative things for the PA program, but my love is clinical medicine. And I also serve as a family medicine rotation preceptor. 9 lucky second-year students get to spend 5 weeks with me on a family medicine rotation. I always hope these 9 students feel lucky when they spend their time with me. The person who may be the luckiest of the group is really me, because I get to see how good our PA students are as they get ready to enter their careers. My role at graduation is very fulfilling for me because I get the opportunity to place their long white coats on them just before they get their degrees. This part of the ceremony is very symbolic and part of the history of the PA profession. Before this part of the ceremony, I give out the Medical Director's Award for the student with the highest GPA throughout PA school. This year is very unique for me and the program in regards to this award. For the first time, we have 2 winners of the Medical Directors Award. This is a part where I like to add a little suspense before I announce the winners. The recipients of this award are not just smart, 4.0 GPA, but they were also very active in extracurricular activities during PA school. I also got to know each of them because they participated in my fundraising activities for the local chapter Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. One of them ran in my 5K race, and the other helped me run the Be the Match DNA sample booth for blood cancer donors at the 5K race. One of the award winners served on the DeSales Free Clinic Student Board and was the outreach chair of the Class Student Society. The other award winner served as a PSPA Director at Large, was a team leader for her class PA-EA Project Access Program, and was instrumental in her class being awarded the top fundraising PA program at the 2021 PSPA conference at Kalahari, where they raised $700 for the Kindness Project. Both of them were super academically, but found time to give back to the community and their school. I'm very proud to present the Medical Directors Award to Courtney Fedor and Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Dr. Decker. I'd next like to invite to the podium Melissa Gilroy, who will present the Clinical Medicine Award.
Thanks, Alexa. Good afternoon to our graduates, family, and friends. It went fast, didn't it? It's hard to believe that just 2 years ago, you were saying goodbye to your free time, to reading for leisure, regular workout routines, and eating on a normal schedule. And you traded all of that for long hours in the classroom, long hours on rotation, and even longer hours studying. But we promised you, back during your orientation in the Buddha Theater, when we sat rows apart and up on the balcony from each other, that the days would be long, but the years would be short. And here we are. I think you know how proud we as a faculty are of you, but just so your friends and family also hear it, for the record, your loved ones, our graduates, have impressed us with their grit, their compassion, and their commitment to improving themselves while supporting each other. We're proud of you today, and we will continue to be proud as you forge your paths as healthcare professionals, as PAs. So how did we know about the long days and the short years? Well, as it would happen, exactly 10 years and 2 days ago, Jessica Schwartz and I were sitting in these very seats as graduates of the DeSales PA class of 2012. 10 years. It went fast, didn't it, Jess? And our class and your class have more in common besides just graduating amazing people. 10 years ago, we graduated as the only other class at DeSales to start PA school with one program director and graduate with another. Dr. Stewart became program director as we transitioned from P1 to P2 year, just as Kathy did for you. And as program director, I don't know if you heard yet today, but he's done some pretty amazing things. The opportunities that you had to grow through, especially the anatomy lab and the simulation center, were just two of the many, many things that came during this transition. I'm excited to see where Kathy will take this program during her time as program director, and I hope that as you end your time at DeSales, you feel as confident in the leadership and future of our program as we did a decade ago. And now for the real reason I'm up here, which is the Clinical Medicine Award. The Clinical Medicine Award is presented to the student who who exhibits the most complete knowledge of clinical medicine as demonstrated by excellence in the clinical medicine, pathophysiology, and pharmacology courses during the first year of the program. The recipient of this award showed true dedication to mastery of the CMPP material in their didactic year. We as faculty could count on this person to be present and attentive in class, sitting over on the right side of the classroom, maybe 4 rows up, maybe it was 5, row 5, Dr. Silver, do you know? Maybe row 5, okay. During lecture, you could almost see the wheels turning as they worked to take in the volume of information, create new and sustained neural connections. And we could also count on this individual to follow up, whether it was an email or stopping by your office to ask a question when the information just didn't stick. The student put in the time and effort in all their coursework, but especially CMPP, which was reflected in their strong GPA amongst the highest in the class. While this award focuses on excellence in the didactic year, classroom knowledge doesn't always translate easily into the clinical world where application of that knowledge is the name of the game. You all figured that out, right? But as it turns out, this individual excelled there too. It was difficult to choose which of many positive comments from their preceptors to highlight today, but here are just a few. Their internal medicine preceptor described this individual as a very intelligent, diligent, and considerate student with medical knowledge well above average and who works extremely well in a team. On their ER rotation, one preceptor said, the student demonstrates palpable enthusiasm for learning and understands when and where help is needed. They ask appropriate, thoughtful questions and will continue to progress well. I may cry during this last one. Every once in a while, we have the pleasure to work with a superior student. Hannah is just that. She is a superior student with a depth and breadth of medical knowledge and skills which far exceeds what is expected of a student at Hannah's level. She performs in the top 1% of students. She is outstanding. Today's Clinical Medicine Award is presented to a graduate and a person who is in fact outstanding. This fall, you will find her on local pickleball courts and eventually working in the ER with Lehigh Valley Health Network, where she will make a fabulous PA. It's my pleasure to present the Clinical Medicine Award to Hannah Suppling.
I next would like to ask Alan Heckman, our chair of the medical study major, to come up and present the Dr. Karen Walton Award for Excellence in the Didactic Year.
Good afternoon. My name is Alan Heckman, and I'm one of the didactic faculty members. About 2 years ago, we sat in Gambit 155, and I told you that we were going to take a journey together through the forest. Do you remember? Well, we're all here. We've reached the other side of the forest. Tired, but all of us a little wiser. And now you're about to embark on a new journey, one filled with challenges and great rewards. I wish each and every one of you, happiness and great success. And always remember to get the echo. The Dr. Karen Walton Award is given by the didactic faculty to a student who was simply a joy to teach. Originally called the Faculty Award, this award was renamed a few years ago to honor our former provost, Dr. Karen Walton. Dr. Walton was not only a huge supporter of the PA program, but believed that it is the faculty that makes DeSales such a great institution. Now, while all of you were indeed a joy to teach, one particular student stood out. Throughout the didactic year, this student attended class regularly, asked questions, participated in discussions, and just always let the faculty know that at least someone was paying attention on Zoom. This person is a delight to work with both inside and outside the classroom, and I have absolutely no doubt that they are going to be a great clinician. which is why it should be no surprise to anyone here that the recipient of this year's Dr. Karen Walton Award is presented to Ani Ross.
Thank you very much, Alan. Next, I would like to welcome to the podium Wendy Hans, the Director of Clinical Education, who will present the Father Peter Leonard Award for Excellence in the Clinical Year.
Good afternoon, everyone. I love to see everyone here. Welcome, family members, friends, partners, significant others. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited for you. No, I'm not up here to start your exam by asking you to take a deep breath, and I'm not going to tell you to change your answers. However, when you take the pants, I should be in your head. Don't change your answers. So today I have the honor of presenting the Father Peter Leonard OSFS Award for Excellence in the Clinical Year. This is awarded by the clinical faculty to the student who excelled in clinical rotations because of their enthusiasm, their patient interactions, and preceptor collaborations. As Kathy mentioned earlier, in the clinical year, students participate in 9 5-week clinical rotations at local offices and hospitals in a variety of healthcare settings and medical specialties. While this is an exciting time in their PA education, I often say that the hardest part of being a PA student in the second year is that every 5 weeks you start a new job with a new location, a new preceptor, a new specialty. Where do I park? Where do I put my lunch? Where do I meet the person? So it can be a little scary. The recipient of this year's award went into each rotation with grace and with enthusiasm. I looked through the preceptor comments on this student, and there was certainly a common theme among the preceptors, but one preceptor's comments really summed it up. I quote, well, I took out the name. "The student is an excellent student, knowledgeable, and has the ability to utilize it. The student's application of knowledge comes easily, and the student is able to apply this knowledge in varied areas. This student asks appropriate questions and has an excellent work ethic. This student demonstrates excellent interpersonal skills with staff, preceptors, and patients. This student's enthusiasm for learning is refreshing. This is the type of student who is a role model for others." I absolutely love that. Another comment I have to share is when asked if the preceptor had any comments or recommendations to potential employers. We ask this of all of our preceptors. The preceptor's comment was, "Any office or hospital would be stupid not to hire her." And so I will say it is with my great pleasure to introduce Rosie Bonagura to present her the Father Peter Leonard Award for Excellence in the Clinical Year.
Thank you, Wendy. I would like to now welcome to the podium Bobby Marici, our Assistant Program Director, who will present the Self-Directed Learner Award.
Hi, everyone. The Self-Directed Learner Award is presented to the student who has taken a proactive approach to clinical education, is motivated, self-directed, and has made the most of every opportunity. Without fail, this award is really difficult to choose every year. Navigating through clinical education and adapting to a new study style is very challenging, and the class of 2022 has done this with grace. May I say to all of you, you have been a joy to educate, and I am so proud to call you colleagues. I thank you for accepting the challenge of medicine, even in the most trying times. You inspire me. The Self-Directed Learner Award for the class of 2022 is given this year to a student who has openly accepted every challenge of the clinical year. This student has accepted feedback with a motivation to improve, not only for herself, but for her patients. I distinctly remember doing a site visit early in the year, sitting on a bench outside in the warm sun and providing hints on how to make the most of the rotation she was on. In our next interaction, it was evident that she had taken that feedback and made demonstrable adjustments. Her motivation and zeal with which she approached her education was also noticed by her preceptors. I will share just 2 comments with you that I found of the many that were excellent. Oh, where's the one I wanted? I wrote down a lot. Exceptional student, well read for this rotation, better than many of the residents on elective rotation, will make a great clinician. And this one really, really is important. The student is a rock star, wonderful with patients, clinical staff, and support staff. Lots of compliments. My favorite interaction was observing her say goodnight to custodial staff by name. She will be a great PA. I have greatly enjoyed following this student's growth throughout her clinical education and getting to know more about her as a person. In fact, I had a lovely conversation with her grandfather in her first year via telephone, and his pride in her accomplishments will always be a wonderful memory for me. I know that your family is so proud of you. Thank you for gracing our lives with your presence. The Self-Directed Learner Award this year is given to Emma Fink.
Thank you very much, Bobby. I now have the honor of presenting the Program Director's Award. This award is by the program director to the student who most exemplifies the compassion, knowledge, and ideals of the physician assistant profession and demonstrates values consistent with the Christian humanism of St. Francis de Sales. This individual entered our PA program through the Medical Studies program, a 3+2 program, where the first 3 years of undergraduate education are accelerated. And then in the senior year, the student begins the graduate PA program. While at DeSales, this individual has earned honors and awards, including the DeSales University Medical Studies Award for Academic Excellence in 2001, as well as the Presidential Medal, which is awarded at undergraduate commencement for the student who has attained intellectual maturity consistent with his or her talents, demonstrated by a manner of living guided by the principles of Catholic teaching and exhibited through service to the DeSales community, loyalty and devotion to the university and the principles upon which this philosophy is based. This student's leadership experience as DeSales included serving as the Physician Assistant Student Society class president, as well as participating as a Character U peer mentor, the Senior Success Program, the Ryan Leadership Institute, and the DeSales Freshman Leadership Summit. This individual is also a member of the DeSales PA program Challenge Bowl team. With so much success in the last 5 years, she will only continue to grow as a critical care PA in the future at St. Luke's. This year, the Program Director's Award goes to Brianna Lagerin. Congrats, Brianna. I would like Jess Farrell, Bernie Childs, and Jackie Snyder to come up to the podium to receive a thank you gift from our program. They make this event and help run our program, sometimes run our program with their such wonderful help, and we just couldn't do it without them. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Wayne Stewart, Dr. Jean Decker, and Bobby Marici to the podium. We will present the certificates and completion of the white coat ceremony.
And thus begins the history lesson. Omnuo Apollona ietron kai Scripion kai Eugean kai Panikeon kai Theos Pantas and kai Passus Istoras Poimenias Epitelion Poision kata duanemin kai Christen emin orkon tonde kai Zugraphin tende. First, Hippocrates. These are the opening words of the Hippocratic Oath, written in the 4th century Greece at the dawn of modern civilization, probably written by adherents of Pythagoras. By the Roman Empire, it had come to define the ethics of medicine and was codified and honored by the priest-physicians of the Middle Ages, and thus it was transmitted to us today. Through the crucible of the world wars, it has been somewhat modified, but does retain the same key provisions. All the following are quotes from the original. Quote, teach them this art if they desire to learn it without fee and covenant. Unquote. Quote, I will keep them from harm and injustice. Unquote. Quote, what I may see or hear, I will keep to myself. Unquote. Quote, in purity and holiness, I will guard my life and my art. Unquote. This oath remains a touchstone for the profession, and in a few minutes, we will conclude this ceremony with the physician assistant professional oath to tie our students, to tie all of you into this long and storied tradition. But first, we award the students their white coats. In the Middle Ages, those in medicine wore black academic robes, and the academic title of doctor became synonymous with the profession. The white coats were acquired in the last half of the 19th century, when science became medicine's muse. Pasteur approved the germ theory of disease, Semmelweis and Lister developed antisepsis, Koch discovered the organism that caused the scourge of consumption. Walter Reed, my favorite, identified the mosquito as the carrier of yellow fever. Osler and Halsted set up the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, which was the first medical school based on scientific principles. Thus, the laboratory coat, the long white smock of the scientist, was adopted by medicine as the outward symbol of the profession. Sometime later, there developed in this country a shortage of primary care physicians. At the same time, medics were returning from Vietnam with a wealth of experience but little academic training. Dr. Eugene Stead at Duke University had the brilliant idea of addressing both of these problems with the creation of the first physician assistant. We have just celebrated the 55th anniversary of the profession, and PAs have become an integral part of the health care of this country. Though grounded in primary care, they have expanded to all specialties in all areas of medicine. We at DeSales are proud to continue this tradition and are dedicated to encouraging the physician assistant profession in all its forms. So tonight, you, members of the graduating class, are entering the realm of medicine, no longer a student, but still a learner. Tonight, we'll replace your short student coats with the full-length coat of the attending, symbolizing your transition from student to practitioner of the ancient art of medicine. The certificate of completion you will receive represents your years of academic study and the hard work that you've put in to acquire the knowledge and expertise to practice medicine. You are now engaged in something larger than yourself and jealous of your time. I guarantee that if you dedicate yourself to the profession, you will be rewarded many times over. As Hippocrates said 2,400 years ago, quote, if I fulfill this oath and do not violate it, may it be granted to me to enjoy life and art, being honored with fame among all men. Oh. Sorry. For all time to come, if I transgress it and swear falsely, may the opposite of all this be my lot. Unquote. Thank you.
At this time, we will be announcing the graduates. As a parent, I know this is really important, and so just to give you a little kind of structure, they're going to stand right here in the middle and get their coat. So you're welcome to move about the room if you want to get a good picture. Please just make sure you're not blocking someone else who may be trying to also get a picture, and then we will ask that you hold your applause to the end. Asma Abir. Spencer Allen Atkins. James F. Bavaro. Anna Rousseau Beauregard. Sarah Elizabeth Beege. Margaret Bielick. Rose Bonagura. Molly Breidenbaugh. Lauren Christian Brown. Cora M. Bush. Meredith Caroline Carr. Hannah Noreen Cole. Joanne Tway. Tammy Dow. Ian Joel Deal. Margaret Dwyer. Courtney Z. Ernest. Carly Ann Ergot. Courtney Ann Fedor. Rachel Fife. Emma Fink. Sarah A. Flenders. Aubrey Fritzinger. Joseph Fuller. Rebecca Gallagher. Alexis Giancaterino. Grace M. Godshall. Michaela Marie Griffin. Aaron Gruselski. Jonna F. Halco. Bernadette T. Hapansky. Maria Hoover. Damian Holschwander. Allison Horn. Alexa Reed Hudak. Noelle Marie Kelly. Claire Kenny. Caitlin M. Claus. Madison Kaler. Jennifer Lee Kerman. Victoria Ann Lay. Nicole Leshko. Michaela M. Lazinski. Brianna Lonergan. Adriana Manzi. Anastasia Marie Marciello. Michaela Hope Marsh. Rebecca C. Martins. Jacob Marushak. Jonathan McBreen. Nicole Rachel Miller. Jordan Mister. Sarah Mulcahy. Kelly A. Mulhern. Caitlin Newsome. Rachel Noonan. Erica Nimberg. Jericho Elijah Frias Pigon. Justine Elise Poitras. Andrea Ross. Annie Ryan. Melissa A. Shane. Suha Shafi. Haley A. Schertzer. Mark Robert Stenska. Emily Stoltzfus. Brittany N. Stote. Jenna Sullivan. Hannah Suplee. Caitlin Safransky. Trey Temple. Jessica Unell. And Anna Marie Grace Webster.
That's okay, you guys are all a big deal, ladies and gents. That's awesome. You now have the knowledge and symbols for the practice of medicine. Legal certification will be handled by the state which you decide to reside and practice in. What remains is to internalize your dedication and commitment to the profession by reciting the physician assistant professional oath. I would now like to welcome Wendy Hans, Director of Clinical Education, to the podium to lead you in this oath.
Look at you all in long white coats. Woo! Let's give it a round of applause. Again, congratulations. Now, it is my honor to lead you in the PA oath. This oath completes the long progression from Hippocrates to today. Many of the provisions are identical with the original. Some have been updated for today's complex and more ecumenical world, but all require your dedication to the profession and to mankind. To think outside of yourself and your daily concerns of finances and schedules, and to think of your patients first and foremost. When I read that, I got goosebumps because every year when I read the PA oath at the completion ceremony, it takes me back to my completion ceremony as well. And it's that reminder every year of we have worked hard to take care of patients, and it's a privilege to take care of others. And so, again, I'm getting goosebumps. This is wonderful. So what I'm going to ask you all to do is to stand, graduates, stand, and I'd like you to turn around, and I will read a sentence, and then you can pull, the oath is in the back of the program, so I will say a sentence, and then please repeat that. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations. Striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor. Thank you. So this is the graduating class of 2022.
Congratulations, everyone. We would like you to take your seats. I would like to welcome the class officers for the presentation of the Christine Bruce Award.
Hello. I first will invite Caitlin Claus and Aaron Grzelski to present the Christine H. Bruce Award.
Good evening, everyone. It is our pleasure to present this year's Christine H. Bruce Award. This award is presented to an exceptional student who persevered through personal and academic challenges while conquering adversity with pride and determination. This recipient has remained dedicated to the program by participating in class activities and serving as a role model to current and future students.
Despite the challenges and complexities that come with completing a PA program, let alone during the ever-changing climate of a pandemic, this year's recipient has carried with her a persistent optimism and a guarantee that when walking past her in the hallways of Gambit, you'll receive a smile and word of encouragement every time. She has worked incredibly hard to maintain her academic success over the last 2 years, tirelessly working to become the best provider she can be for all of her future patients. Throughout all of this, this individual has continued to contribute and be an active presence in our class, serving as a leader on our very own student society. She has continued to encourage, lift, and strengthen those around her through their adversities while taking a greater role in aiding her family bravely through their own. This individual is kind, authentic, and the type of person that will ensure that wherever she is, everyone around her feels included and important. She exemplifies what it means to conquer whatever obstacles are placed in the path to your own success, and she has come out with grace and dignity on the other side, making us all better for knowing her.
Without further ado, we are privileged and excited to celebrate and honor this year's recipient of the Christine H. Bruce Award, Victoria Lay.
I strive to be a PA because I want to empower others on their healthcare journey, because I desire a career in medicine and want to have a family, because my dad is a physician and he is my role model, because I want to care for sick kids with heart problems, like how I was a sick kid with a heart problem, because of the way I saw a PA caring for my grandmother in her final days, because my mom is a nurse and I see the way she cares for patients with her whole heart, because I want to provide medical care to the homeless, because I couldn't imagine doing anything else, because this is my calling. These are the answers from the class of 2022 when asked why they wanted to be a physician assistant. Good evening. My name is Brianna Lonergan, and I am the DeSales University class of 2022 class president for the physician assistant cohort. I am delighted to be able to address you, my classmates, amongst all of our family and friends celebrating us here today, alongside of our wonderful faculty and staff on such a memorable day. Forgive me if this speech is lengthy. I wrote it throughout the course of 2 years when I didn't want to study, which is more often than I'd like to admit. Wow, we did it. Today is the day that we become graduates of one of the most highly ranked, challenging, and successful PA programs in the country. Today, we join the 1,096 other DeSales Physician Assistant alumni as the 24th graduating PA class of DeSales University. Over the next couple of minutes, I invite you to truly pause and think about all that you have accomplished since walking through the doors in Gambit 2 years ago. I once heard a speaker, Bobby Petrocelli, say that life doesn't change in a day like many think it does. It changes in a moment. And this is true for every graduate in this room. Your life changed the moment you decided to go to PA school. From the moment you decided to go to DeSales to this moment on your graduation day, your life has changed forever in these moments, and so many patients' lives will change because of you. During our first year, we sat side by side each other for 40 hours a week as we learned the intricacies of what it takes to keep the human body alive, or what to do when it goes wrong. We did this by learning 27,192 slides in less than 365 days. We literally put our blood, sweat, and tears into PA school, practicing our first venipunctures on each other. This year was enduring. Damian Holschwander, a U.S. Marine, said that he would rather do boot camp again than repeat P1 year. Damian, please stand to be acknowledged for your service. Alongside of us in this journey was our dedicated faculty that made this journey so phenomenal. They're with all of us. We're there with us all hours of the day, whether it was Jackie and Bernie greeting us with smiles bright and early each morning, or Chris Hall answering our emails at 2 a.m. Their voices are truly ingrained in our head, whether it be Mel G teaching us the muscles of the abdominal wall with an analogy of her children's behavior, or Alan calling his dad on speakerphone to explain the process of being on Coumadin while standing on a desk to teach us ACLS, or Dr. Stewart showing us his own x-rays. They had fun with us. Mel B took her whole family on a bike ride with us on the rail trail, and Father Jim joined us for a bake-off and a cocktail party. They inspired us through Susie's love for the free clinic, Jane's involvement in PSPA, Dr. Decker's dedication for LLS, Leukemia Lymphoma Society, Regina's passion for women's heart health. They motivated us endlessly, whether it was 28 weeks pregnant Jess Schwartz running behind me at Dr. Decker's LLS 5K, or Dr. Silver telling us every day, "You're really getting it," even when we weren't. Or even telling us we're really getting it, or Susie's prayers for us. They're extremely personal faculty. Jess Farrell made sure we all felt included each and every single day. Meg brought in baked goods for those that were gluten-free, and Kathy was not only our advocate, but was our on-campus mother, day in and day out, for some of us over the last 5 years. We learned so much during our P1 year, but we also learned about ourselves, our grit on difficult days, our gifts in difficult specialties, maybe even our inability to play volleyball, or that we can beat the physical therapy students in a soccer game. We have a newfound appreciation for seeing patients in clinical settings. We had a Zoom meeting where Bobby announced that we would be restarting Friday morning rotations after COVID, and many of us literally cried tears of joy. This excitement for patient care carried over to our clinical year. During our 9 rotations, we worked in hospitals and offices, performing a variety of duties. We educated patients on their new diagnosis of Guillain-Barré, secured an unstable patient's airway via intubation, assisted in limb amputations, neurosurgery, and organ donation, rounded on incarcerated patients, delivered babies, had a mute patient talk to us for the first time, performed pediatric lumbar punctures, and cared for the homeless in the snow of the Lehigh Valley. Throughout PA school, we grew close to each other. The 5-year medical studies majors have been together for over 20% of our life. We've literally grown up together. At 18, we slid down the big hill by the Marion statue and learned what a PA was in Wendy's class. At 19, we took a $5 midnight mystery bus trip and studied microbiology. At 20, we ate Thanksgiving dinner at the Duck and took structure and function. At 21, we went to Tally Ho for the first time, but we also entered PA school and met the rest of our graduating class. At 22, we delivered a baby, and today, at 23, we graduate. In addition, the last 2 years, we continued to build our undergraduate relationships while also fostering new friendships with the incoming grad students. Together, as a class of 73, we embarked on the journey of PA school and leaned on each other day in and day out. When Jericho's laptop charger broke the morning of the Clin Reasoning final, there were 10 of us offering Jericho all different kinds of chargers that definitely wouldn't have worked for his laptop. Our first patients were each other, performing histories and physicals on each other in the simulation center. We learned the art of medicine while forming lasting relationships with our future colleagues that became our current family. At DeSales, we didn't just grow academically, we grew as a whole person. My classmates and I could treat you for pseudo-hyperparathyroidism, put in a central line, care for you in a depression, and recognize a heart attack on your EKG. But so could many PAs. What's different about our class is our roots in St. Francis de Sales' core values of wisdom, gentleness, hospitality, generosity, humility, and gratitude. Our success by no means is just due to ourselves and our faculty. To those of you sitting in the audience, we truly couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for being patient with us on our short-tempered, stressful days, forgiving us for missing family gatherings, praying for our exams, and funding our caffeine addictions. In turn, you have gained a PA that is on call for whenever someone falls, gets a rash, or needs their ears checked. And families, maybe you can't relate to some of the medical jokes that were made in this speech and throughout this day, but it is clear that in this program you can see the love, detail, and thoroughness that went into your graduate, and it is analogous to the love you share for the graduate. So later today, as we move to the cocktail hour and we go out to dinner celebrating the graduate, this toast just isn't for us finishing these crazy 2 years that we had to trust the process for. This toast is to you, our family members that we couldn't have done it without. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the bittersweetness of graduating today. Next week, our faculty will welcome a new class of PA students. The upcoming students truly don't know how good they have it. This day is filled with sweetness of excitement of graduating, but bitterness as we leave our home from the last 5 years. There are toasts and smiles, but there are tears too. If you cry yesterday, you are sad about it ending. If you cry today, you are proud of what you have done. If you cry tomorrow, you are grateful for the experience. While I never want to leave DeSales, it comforts me knowing that our class has left a lasting impression. We will forever be remembered for having the most snacks in the back of the lecture hall, for learning how to put a scalpel blade on over Zoom, for being the most resilient class, according to Bobby, having a record high number of proposals, 12 that is, and for being such a good class that Dr. Stewart had to retire. And also being the first class ever to pie Dr. Stewart, which maybe that's why he has to retire. So class of 22, today we are asked, what is next for you? My dad always told me that Wayne Gretzky wasn't a great goalie because he shot a lot of goals, but because he made everyone around him great. Class of 2022, next, I challenge you to keep making everyone around you great. I challenge you to keep learning throughout your career. I challenge you to always remember that medicine is a calling. I challenge you to always volunteer to see that difficult patient. I challenge you to never forget why you wanted to be a PA. I challenge you to always remember that you are a DeSales PA first and foremost, and you can do anything. I leave you with an excerpt from Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. You will top all of the rest. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. And that we did. We have decided where to go next. So if you're looking for one of my classmates in the future, you can find us working in a variety of settings, caring for patients in an addiction rehab, helping patients in a bone marrow transplant clinic, working in neurosurgery, at CHOP, in the ICU, in the family medicine office, at urgent cares, ERs, ORs, and so much more, all across the country. Frankly, you probably can't go into a hospital in the Lehigh Valley and not find at least one of us at any given time. You'll know we are a DeSales physician assistant graduate from across the room by our caring nature, intelligence, and passion for medicine. So again, I invite you to take one more moment, because remember, life changes in one moment. Don't ever forget this feeling of pride and success. Remember the reason that you wanted to be a PA. Remember how hard you worked in high school to get into the college you wanted, this one. Remember your undergraduate courses you took to get into PA school, including Dr. Berg's chemistry class. Remember the GRE that you took 3 times to get accepted into this prestigious program. Remember when you got your acceptance phone call from Julie Ferraro and Dr. Stewart. Remember that first time you put your short white coat on and knocked on the door of the SP's room. Remember the feeling of finishing that last anatomy practical. What a great day that was, right? And remember that first patient you saw on a Friday morning rotation. Remember the last CMPP test, another great day. And remember the P1 champagne celebration. Remember your first day of each rotation. Remember this moment, right now, newly coated in your long white jacket for the first time. All of these moments have culminated today for you to be able to say, hi, I'm Brianna Lonergan, or I'm so-and-so, the PA that will be taking care of you today. Thank you.
That is the conclusion of our ceremony. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to the class of 2022.
Folks, if you proceed out of this room, off to my right, your left, we'll be celebrating with cocktails and hors d'oeuvres.